Hey there, my fellow seekers of greatness. Today, we're going to talk about setting boundaries and how it can transform your life. Now, I know that some of you might think that setting boundaries is a selfish act, but let me tell you, it's not. In fact, setting boundaries is one of the best things you can do for yourself and for the people around you. So, what are the benefits of setting boundaries? Well, let me break it down for you. Setting boundaries helps you prioritize your time and energy. One of the biggest benefits of setting boundaries is that it helps you prioritize your time and energy. When you set boundaries, you're able to say no to things that don't align with your goals, values, or priorities. This means that you'll have more time and energy to focus on the things that matter most to you. Setting boundaries improves your relationships. Believe it or not, setting boundaries can improve your relationships. When you're clear about your boundaries, you're able to communicate more effectively with the people in your life. You'll be able to express your needs and expectations in a way that's respectful and assertive, which can lead to healthier and more fulfilling relationships. Setting boundaries boosts your self-esteem. Another benefit of setting boundaries is that it can boost your self-esteem. When you set boundaries, you're essentially telling yourself and the world that you're worth it. You're worth the time and energy it takes to take care of yourself and to prioritize your needs. This can help you feel more confident, empowered, and in control of your life. Setting boundaries reduces stress and anxiety. Finally, setting boundaries can help reduce stress and anxiety. When you're constantly saying yes to everything and everyone, you're spreading yourself too thin. This can lead to burnout, exhaustion, and a whole lot of stress. When you set boundaries, you're able to protect your time and energy, which can help you feel calmer, centered, and at peace. Now, I know that setting boundaries can be easier said than done. It can be scary to say no to people, especially if you're used to being a people pleaser. But trust me, it is worth it. So, how can you start setting boundaries in your life? Well, here are a few tips to get you started. Get clear on your values and priorities. Before you can start setting boundaries, you need to know what's important to you. Take some time to reflect on your values and priorities. What are the things that matter most to you? What are your non-negotiables? Once you are clear on these things, it will be easier to say no to things that don't align with them. Start small. Setting boundaries can be a big change, so it's okay to start small. You don't have to go from saying yes to everything to saying no to everything overnight. Start by setting small boundaries and see how it feels. For example, you could set a boundary around not checking your work email after hours, or not taking phone calls during dinner. Practice saying no. Saying no can be uncomfortable, but it's a necessary skill to have. Practice saying no in a kind and respectful way. You don't have to explain yourself or apologize for setting a boundary. Remember, it's your right to protect your time and energy. Be consistent. Setting boundaries is only effective if you are consistent. If you say no one day and yes the next, people will start to think that your boundaries are flexible. Be clear and consistent with your boundaries, and people will start to respect them. So, without further ado, let us dive into the top 10 strategies for setting boundaries for success. Get clear on your goals. The first step in setting boundaries for success is getting clear on your goals. What do you want to achieve? What is important to you? Once you're clear on your goals, you'll be able to set boundaries that align with them. Identify your non-negotiables. Your non-negotiables are the things that you absolutely cannot compromise on. These might include things like your health, your family, or your values. Identify your non-negotiables and make sure your boundaries protect them. Communicate your boundaries clearly. Setting boundaries is all about communication. Be clear and direct with the people in your life about your boundaries. Let them know what's okay and what's not okay, and be willing to enforce your boundaries if necessary. Be respectful and assertive. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being mean or aggressive. You can set boundaries in a respectful and assertive way. Be clear about what you need and be willing to stand up for yourself. Be consistent. Consistency is key when it comes to setting boundaries. Be clear and consistent with your boundaries, and people will start to respect them. If you're wishy-washy or inconsistent, people will take advantage of you. Practice self-care. Setting boundaries is an act of self-care. Take care of yourself, and make sure your boundaries protect your time and energy. Prioritize rest, exercise, and healthy habits. And don't be afraid to say no to things that don't align with your self-care routine. Set boundaries around technology. Technology can be a major source of stress and distraction. Set boundaries around your use of technology, like not checking your email after work hours or turning off your phone during dinner. Do not be afraid to say no. Saying no can be uncomfortable, but it's a necessary skill to have. Practice saying no in a kind and respectful way. Remember, it's your right to protect your time and energy. Enlist the support of others. Setting boundaries can be challenging, but you don't have to do it alone. Enlist the support of friends, family, or a therapist to help you stay accountable and consistent with your boundaries. Celebrate your successes. Finally, celebrate your successes. Setting boundaries is a big accomplishment, and you deserve to celebrate your progress. Reward yourself for sticking to your boundaries, and acknowledge the positive changes that setting boundaries have brought to your life. Celebrate your successes. Those are just a few of the many benefits of setting boundaries. Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish or mean. It is an act of self-care and self-love, and when you take care of yourself, you can show up more fully and authentically in all areas of your life. So, there you have it, my friends. Setting boundaries can be challenging, but the benefits are so worth it. By prioritizing your time and energy, improving your relationships, boosting your self-esteem, and reducing stress and anxiety, you'll be able to show up as your best self in all areas of your life. Remember, you are worth it, and setting boundaries is an act of self-care and self-love. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep striving for greatness.